We're going live now. Well, first of all, this green thing here blocks the sun in the morning, so it doesn't reflect back at me off the monitor. That's why it's there. Okay. And today is a day of revelations, personal revelations, and that can be shared because there's no personality, no individual involved that I'm defaming or slandering. There's just principles of operation and principles of causes and effects at work in the world that as an older adult, I can begin to see clearly. And it has never made sense to me why the UFO and the ET topics, okay, and the Sumerian cuneiform tablets and the Tartarian mud flood and all these controversial topics, what they were in place for. And I may have figured this out. You see, if God is an ET, and if the angels are ETs, and if Bigfoot is part of the larger domain of other races, along with the Nephilim and the Agarthians and the Andromedans and Pleiadians, the whole spectrum of living intelligent beings across the universe. If they're ETs, well, of course, scientism and the secular materialist, globalist, Marxist elite must insist that there are no ETs because God is an ET. He's an ET of which we have a history. We have a history of the ET known as Yahweh, Jehovah, okay, Yeshua. We have history in a series of books. There's not just one book, the Bible. Okay, let's get that straight. And there's nobody who only reads one book who can consider themselves an educated human being. You may be civil, you may be decent, you may be honest, but you're not educated. Because the Sumerian cuneiform tablets substantiate Genesis, okay? And Ashiana Dean's Voyagers 2 substantiates the plot, not only in the Sumerian records, but also in the Urantia book, the Oahspe, the Colburn Bible, okay? All these books complement each other and tell bits and pieces of the same story, how our world has experienced falling and failure and defamation and misery over the last 52,000 years. What went wrong here? And it's a big story, and it's an old story. And so the powers that be, in order to make sure that story never gets told in public society, has simply deemed that ETs don't exist, UFOs don't exist. There's no life anywhere but here. I was watching a couple of brand new, beautifully produced videos yesterday, elaborately produced with simulations and theories and prognostications about maybe if someday we ever find life. What kind of bullshit is that? We already know that humanity was genetically engineered 208,000 years ago by Enki. We already have that. We already know that there is a mixture, a diversity of races on this world that have been problematical ever since, okay? According to the record, there was 1,000 years war, there was another war, there was another war, and another war. The universe in this sector of the universe because it has abandoned the seed money manifesting your living by paying forward. That principle was abandoned several cycles ago. And so the way that intelligent people now manifest their needs and their wants and their preferences is through predation. And the way capitalism has been structured, it is predatory. It doesn't have to be predatory, okay? Capitalism runs Norway and Sweden and Finland and some of the Scandinavian cultures in which the people share the same ideology, the same ethic, and they can trust each other. So they can trust each other that trading and transactions are going to happen transparently and on an even playing field. But oh no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in the UK and US because we have stock markets and lotteries and protection rackets for medicine, for space science, for what all, okay? In the Kroger Library at University of California, Berkeley, 60 years ago, the only chronology that was allowed to be passed for a PhD candidate had to state that the human race was only 6,000 years ago, and before that we were cave people. That was University of California, 1960 to 1967, all right? They had a dogma that simply overruled and overturned anybody's archaeological evidence to the contrary. And nothing has changed. Medicine does that with its pandering and pimping to big pharma, all right? And the very fact that in the United States, election campaigns, political campaigns are run by donations and contributions from individuals. Well, of course, the corporations with deep pockets dominate everything. This system is run by bribery, all right? Now, is the left going to take down a system run by bribery? Are they going to take it down with violence, insubordination, malfeasance, sedition? That's unlikely. What it is likely to do is create a civil war in which we all lose everything. And that's apparently what Nancy Pelosi wants, because every proposal she makes is simply another proposal to destroy more civil functions and replace them with arbitrary, unbounded grasping, you know? You just got to go grasp for what you want. It's barbarism all over again. All right? So the reason this government has turned away from ETs, from negotiating ET treaties, the Greada Treaty and the Tau 9 Treaty, from a position of limited dominion and respect for others, no. Those treaties, being part of the Maritime Admiralty format, include zero human or rights to life whatsoever. In those treaties, as in Maritime Admiralty, a person is a consumable product that shows up by birthing at the dock and having an all capitals name. This is how our system mocks us. Our system mocks us. So the left is correct about their analysis of the program, the problem. The system is absolutely corrupt. But tearing it down, you don't fix a house or renovate it by burning it down. That doesn't work out. Not only that, But the people who are lawless and violent and given to rage are not likely going to be the people who know how to finally organize a set of processes that will work better than what we have. So all this anger being fomented in the schools with Common Core curriculum and teachers who are joining Antifa, this is all very self-fulfilling, and it's national suicide. And it begins with the realization that the Iron Mountain Conference of the 1963-67 period was in the business of repudiating the very concept of ET life, because they had to get God out of the picture. They had to get the angels out of the picture. They had to get our honest, actual history out of the picture, never to be rationally considered as part of reality. And so this is what we're seeing, that tearing everything down, ruin and stagnation are what the left are trying to use as the method for correcting problems. That's insane. That's insane. When you do exactly the opposite of what will work to correct a problem, that's not how you correct a problem. I hope you understand why my generation is either totally freaked out or completely ignoring the whole thing because it's a problem that has been created by academia and the legal profession, and having the legal profession dominating politics. It's just too crooked and dirty for us to know how to fix it right now. Maybe we'll figure something out. But God is alive, and God is an ET, and that's where we have to start, knowing the higher hierarchies of the universe. Good day.